let's keep this going. Another clip I wanted to talk about is Joe Budden. He's talking about Tommy Richman and some of his recent comments. Tommy Richman, who also kind of did a reaction to of his debut album after, that hit song, When You Done Baby. I was not really a fan of the album, but you can check out my reaction if you want. It is there on a YouTube channel.
Let's we talk about coming off of BET Awards and stuff. We got Grammy Awards. Tommy Richman,
your man,
your cousin,
y'all man,
that's y'all man.
That's y'all's man.
He's at y'all cookout.
Whose?
Y'all's.
I disagree with so many of the white people that they said are allowed to the cookout. I
disagree with all of them.
I agree with some of the black people that they let to the cookout, but that's a story for another time.
But yeah, so Tommy Richman is submitting for rap song of the year.
All the categories.
Yeah, all the rap.
Yeah.
Wait, so he's submitting. There's no nomination.
Well, the nominations aren't out yet.
Okay.
But you have to do
you have to say what your category
before they
submitting.
Yeah.
Tommy Richman, who just a few weeks earlier said, "I am not a hip hop act."
What?
Bruh. Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
The irony just cannot write itself. Like, the irony cannot write itself. Tommy Richman, whose biggest hit single of his career, probably forever, if I was going to bet, just based off of everything I've heard from him. Undeniably a version of hip hop rap. Like, it might not have been strictly a rap song because he wasn't necessarily rapping, but it had all the elements of a rap / hip hop song, a la like early Post Malone. Came out, as I mentioned, a few weeks ago saying, "I'm not a hip hop act," which I would agree. When I heard the album, I was like, he seems to be trying to distance himself from that image of being a hip hop artist or being in rap or even being around the culture. And it seemed like he was really trying to show off that he's like an artist, which cool. Do what you want. Don't really care. But then to come back and submit for every rap category, it's hilarious. It is funny. For somebody who's like, I'm not a hip hop act, but you want to be nominated and you want to win in all those categories, is absolutely hilarious to me. Why don't you submit for other categories? Why don't you put out other songs? Because your one and only song happened to be at the least hip hop adjacent. I've been saying this. There's certain groups out there, certain artists, certain people out there that we allow into the culture of hip hop that only use it to their advantage, and then when it no longer serves them, they bounce. At some point, we got to start gatekeeping the culture. I said what I said.
Yeah. At this point,
I'm confused, honestly.
You either fucking with people or you on bullshit.
Both.
Or you just really...
Both. Or he realized, I don't want to be a hip hop act, but my one and only successful venture in music so far has been through hip hop. The people who showed me the most love for my music were from hip hop. Everything else I put out, everything else I did that was not hip hop, flopped massively hard, and was quite honestly pretty trash. His album was pretty trash. Don't come crawling back now.
Really don't know any better, and maybe you're being handled poorly.
So to your point from a couple weeks ago, Tommy Richman would have done himself a service by shutting the fuck up.
Yep.
Absolutely.
True. Sometimes certain things don't need to be said. You don't need to like evoke emotions out of people. That'll piss people off. It reminds me a lot when Post Malone went out and said like, hip hop don't have emotion. Or when Miley came out and said, hip hop is only this. Like, you're a guest. You were a guest in the culture. You have no say on what the culture is, or what the culture has done, or what the culture means to people. Because your experience with it is much different from the people that built it. Now, the backlash from him saying this is going to be far less. Simply because he's kind of irrelevant.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah.
That being said, I wouldn't have liked, even if he never said none of that hip hop shit, that song being nominated in rap categories would be weird to me still.
I agree.
Same.
It's not a rap song.
It would be, but I wouldn't mind.
But I
the
wouldn't
submission because
understand
now I'm gonna
Yeah.
do what I
The
can do.
melodic rap song, I'm with, because there is a separate
Yeah,
category for melodic rap. I'm
category.
not mad at that, even though I still don't know if it's that. But to general rap categories,
It's not that, but we wouldn't have kicked his back in so much if he would have just shut up and submitted to.
Yeah, my handler's going to put a.
Yeah.
We gonna put a.
Okay, so I did not know there's an actual category just for melodic rap. I mean, I'm glad there is that distinction because there is a clear difference between hip hop, and rap and what is coming out nowadays.
That in that case, you're trying to win wherever you could win.
Yes.
Because you've been running your mouth on said issue, now we look at it like
Facts. Joe decided to wake up and speak nothing but facts on this pod. Not always a concurrence for him, but he's speaking straight facts. You're only doing this because you're trying to win. You're just trying to get a win in any way possible. That's it. That's it. And I'm not mad at it. I'm not hating at it. But when you put that in to direct comparison to what you just said a couple weeks, you look like an idiot.
well, nigga, why you don't go submit
Get the fuck out of here.
For
to,
like
to
pop.
whoever
pop,
you're
yeah.
trying to
Go
be?
pop. Yes.
I understand that may be a more difficult win.
yeah, sure.
Yeah. He ain't winning in that category. I don't care how many weeks you were number one. Good luck.
So you strut your ass over here and then turn your face up at us.
Now,
And that's where people are like, all right, dog. And again, I haven't heard but so much of his music. I don't know if he fire enough to behave this way.
Hell no. Hell no. I need that button. That hell nah button. Hell nah. He ain't fired enough for this. He ain't done enough to be acting like this, talking like this. Let's be real.
I don't love this, whatever the name of his hit is,
Million
enough
Dollar Baby.
for him to behave that way. I love the beat. I recognize that it has the chopped and screwed elements. I do recognize the elements of hip hop that it has.
Sure.
Like I said, at the bare minimum, it was hip hop adjacent. You can even argue it was hip hop.
Now let me just ask.
But it ain't.
His performance ain't rapping.
It ain't
though,
at all.
which
Not
it's
at
his song, and that's
So,
how it should go.
Not at all.
Even when
But again, what kind of mainstream music is not hip hop adjacent these days? Even country is hip hop adjacent. Shabuzi. What was that? One of the biggest country songs of the year? Come on, bro. It's a remix of a hip hop song. It has so many hip hop elements in it. Like, mainstream pop music is all pretty much hip hop adjacent these days. So, like, that's not really a stretch. And, like, that doesn't really mean anything now. At all.
when the tweet came out, like I said, I told y'all why I could understand what he meant by the tweet. Is it possible that because the artists themselves don't do that submission shit? That'd be your label, that'd be your team, that'd be some of that. So they could be sitting there saying, hey, look, our song performed and did this. We are submitting this over here where we might have a better chance at a win. This really ain't got shit to do with you at this point.
It's like playing the dollar to win the lottery. I understand.
But I'm just saying,
nobody's mad at them.
I'm not I'm not gonna necessarily hold that against. If he's
that's
saying I'm
your
not hip hop, hold on. If he's saying I'm not hip hop, but my label is going to say, well, nigga, shut your ass up. We submitting you for rap regardless. I'm not gonna hold that against him.
Got to.
That's all I'm saying.
I have to hold it against him because it's
you don't
your
control
job.
shit.
It's your job. Got it. But as casual consumers, the label is not planning around the people that. All right, nobody.
I mean, he's probably right. He is probably right that the label is one that submits for him and is like, shut up, fool. Like, this is the best chance of winning. This is your best category to get an award. Fair enough. But you are still the face of yourself and your brand and your act. So you are going to get all the backlash, period.
Nobody knows shit. We just moving on the court for our best interest.
Right.
It's his job to be lock in step with the people that he's in business with.
True.
Okay.
And so somebody should have had the conversation with him weeks earlier. Hey, this is how we're submitting.
If you are, I go.
But, he might not have, but you don't know. So I make my stupid ass statement.
What makes it nastier to me is that maybe he did know, and that's why he tweeted that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
That's a
saying?
good one.
Like,
That's a good
That
one.
makes sense.
That's a good point.
That's a
That
good
makes
one.
sense.
Let me get ahead of this.
Once
a
it's
good one.
submitted that way, I was like, oh, he's taking a stand.
That
He
is
was
a good
taking
one.
a stand against something.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
All right, so he might not know any better because you don't want to mosey on down there to the Taylor Swift land and to Billie Eilish land. Like, I don't know, Tom.
And to some of these folks that don't know no better, the term hip hop has a certain connotation to it that they don't want to be a part of. We just saw a report come out where the Miami Dolphins did not hire Mike Tomlin because they said he was too hip hop.
Yeah.
Why?
It's just crazy. That is a crazy statement. We didn't hire Mike Tomlin because he is too hip hop. Just say because he's black at that point. Like, he's too black. He's too hip hop. It's crazy.
Had the opportunity to hire Mike Tomlin back in 2007 and said we did not hire him because he was too hip hop.
That's funny because I think Homeboy, their coach, is mad.
They publicly said.
Facts. Joe's speaking nothing but facts right now. Like, as much as they talk about, like, we didn't want to hire Mike Tomlin because he is too hip hop. Their head coach now, Mike McDaniel, is more hip hop than Tomlinson. Everything he does is based in the culture. He may be white, but he is as tapped into the culture as any other coach or any other player out there these days. Like, the culture is the culture at this point. Like, it's wild. That was a wild statement.
No, I don't think so.
I've never heard that.
Yeah.
Well, how do we know that
This
that
is
was
something
said?
just came out.
Yeah.
Because if that's true, that's basically saying he's too black.
Yes.
Yes, very much so.
Which is what we say.
And why would they say that he was too hip hop?
Because they can't say he's too black.
So when I first got the diagnosis,
Facts. Come on, we all know the code. A little too urban for me. A little too urban.
How is that a fucking identifier, though?
That's crazy.
I
hope that's false.
No.
Okay.
Because in my opinion, every 22-year-old black boy that you now are going to get and that you now are drafting, they all too hip hop too. So the dudes is good enough to be hip hop to play for you, but not good enough to be in a managerial role. That speaks to the organization.
Let me ask
you get what I'm saying? Like the kids that you drafted, they not too hip hop to be running back punts on your team or to be catching fucking touchdowns for your team, putting revenue in your pockets. But the black man that's going to be coaching these kids would be quote unquote too hip hop. That's disgusting. I hope that's fake. I hope that's fake.
What if he was doing it in reverse? Meaning like,
what's also funny about the whole situation that they're talking about? The year after, 2007, whenever they decided not to hire Mike Tomlin because he was too hip hop, they hired a guy named Cam Cameron. Yeah. And their record that year, 1-15. 1-15. And Mike Tomlin? Oh, he won a Super Bowl. People are so stupid.
You know how Macklemore shit won? What if he's saying that, I'm a white guy, I put my song there just in case it win. I don't want anybody to think that I may have felt it.
Bullshit argument because Macklemore never said he's not hip hop. Macklemore is absolutely hip hop. He might be a different kind of version than what you might be used to. He's absolutely definitely hip hop in his core. And like, he loves hip hop. He never said he shouldn't have been in the hip hop category. Completely different case. Completely different.
Deserve to win compared to the other songs.
Say that when you get up there.
You know what I'm saying? So what if, in getting in front of it, that was his intent? Like, because he probably feel like it's not hip hop, but some of these songs, I don't know, I don't want to base it off of the skin, but a lot of these songs that don't deserve the win end up winning. So what if he just doesn't want to offend the culture? I don't know.
Yeah, you took it to my next thought. I understand the submitting. The win is going to be the uproar.
Yeah,
absolutely,
for sure.
If he were to win in these categories.
And unfortunately, with the popularity of the song, it probably stands a good chance to win.
He can't be.
It's interesting. I
don't have them win. I don't have them
beating.
I don't have
like
them
what's it? Not like us.
But melodic rap or something like that, he might stand a better chance in.
I think that this is totally just freestyling. I think that the board may like getting some of these famous TikTok dudes so we can put it in the commercial or advertise that you're nominated. But I do think that the Grammy board still tries to have some integrity as to who and how it's won.
Well, typically the people that vote, which I may or may not vote this year, we'll see.
It's your
in the Grammys.
Actually are in the fucking hip hop culture. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, their peers.
They changed some of that, right?
Yeah.
I don't vote because you have to vote in all categories.
That's not true.
When you fill out
You
the
pick.
thing,
I'm looking at Grammy nominations right now. Obviously, just came out before they're released. They just got released. Tommy Richman did not get nominated for anything. Yeah. For a song that was number one for as long as it was. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy he did not get a single nomination for that. Like, ugh. Yeah, I didn't see it listed on here at all. So I don't think he even got a nomination for all this talk. Like, he ain't got to worry about nothing because you're not nominated. You're not going to be there, my boy. Don't worry about it. Submit wherever you want. Call yourself whatever you want. You're not in the running, which is wild. That's wild. Huh. Crazy. But I mean, again, this is a topic that I've talked about many, many times already that's come up and it's continued to come up is at one point, are we going to start taking this culture, this series, this genre, this art form that we love and invented and care for so much and actually start taking care of it, looking out for it, and not just jumping on whatever new hot thing just shows up for a second. How many times you get spit in the face till you're like, nah, fuck this. Stay over there. If you don't got love for the culture, the true culture, the art form, then don't even tap in. Don't try to run away from the comparisons, the connotations, the elements that made you pop in the first place, and then be like, nah, that ain't me. I ain't hip hop. Like, bruh, hip hop carries you. Hip hop made you. Hip hop made that song do what it did. Without the support of hip hop and the artists, like hip hop artists are the first to jump out and support a song, no matter who it's from. Fans, especially. And then come on and be like, nah, I'm not hip hop. But then to submit for hip hop, it's crazy work. Crazy work.